Hello, everybody, and welcome to week number 4 of A-MAY-rican Ninja here at Film Seizure. I am Jeff Arbuckle. With me, as always, Jason Oliver. Jason.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm ready for some annihilation.
Choking that down, huh?
Annihilate some brain
Okay.
matter.
And also with us, Chuck Moore. Chuck.
Shalom, y'all.
We can get that shirt. And world peace can happen.
That's
everybody.
fantastic. I can't believe that somebody made that shirt, and it's perfect.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Just like it.
Was it a TeePublic shirt, Chuck?
Yes.
Yeah, of course. That's where all the good shit lives. All the good shit and shirts live.
Yeah, the good shirts.
Yeah, the good shirts. It's a good shirt. Holy shirt. Anyway, holy shirt indeed, because we've got American Ninja 4, The Annihilation. We bring our two ninjas together. And the movie is split in half.
It is.
It really is.
I don't think they got along very well in real life.
Well, I think Bradley was under the impression that this was his series now, and I think I think Cannon looked at 3 and was like, "Oh shit, we fucked up. We got to go back and get the dude." I'm gonna go ahead and blow this off the top. Blow the top off of this.
What?
Okay, I got something.
Yeah, I was gonna. This one's my favorite.
Okay.
And this one is my favorite to the point where I like 1 and 2 better now. It's a little bit of a backwards kind of snake eating its own tail reason why. But
not from you.
only Jeff would have complicated feelings about American Ninja movie.
But here's the thing. Why is the quintessential action franchise from the 80s into the early 90s Lethal Weapon? Because the first movie is kind of dark. Riggs is a dark character. Yeah. Like, I think we meet him, he's about to blow his brains out.
Yeah.
And so it had, I mean, like, yes, he did goofy Three Stooges stuff to show that he was crazy, but the sequels lightened things up, and then it really kind of leaned into silly action.
Well, he learned the power of friendship.
Exactly.
In the first movie.
Exactly. Yeah. And the one thing that the one thing that Danny Glover didn't learn is when to retire. But he kept hanging on,
getting older and older for the shit. Yeah.
But this movie has a darker tone, I think. I mean, it doesn't start dark.
This one
way goes
darker
dark
than the rest of them.
And if you think about it, if this was the tone of the first one would have been my favorite, hands down. Because then I would have also accepted things kind of being silly in the second one. And I think the trajectory would have changed the whole thing because I always thought the first one was supposed to be darker, and it really wasn't. It's silly, stupid Cannon movie, but this one is a silly, stupid, dark Cannon movie, and I'm on board. I'm on board.
This is the first of the series that I thought during the movie, I want to rewatch this. I would watch this again.
Yes.
Yeah, I kind of agree as well. It takes itself seriously, and that kind of works and doesn't work in equal measure.
And I'm fine with that idea too. Yeah, with what you're saying, with how you're taking it. Yes.
And there's very little in the way of humor to this one. It's pretty brutal at times. Like,
well, when you start slapping around Robin Still, that's unfortunate.
Slapping women around, torturing Marines. It's like it doesn't really pull any punches. Pardon the pun, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But it's also not good.
I don't know. I like it.
So, Chuck, is this one your favorite too?
It must be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I might surprise you next week too, but yeah.
I don't think you're going to surprise me either. Because Next week's my second favorite. I came in late to the American Ninja Party, and I'm loving it now.
Well,
That's hilarious.
This is interesting. Yeah,
but it's a whole different reason why I like next week's. We'll get
4
to that
and 5
later.
could not be more different.
Yeah, one's
really
for
couldn't
kids
be.
and one's for like depraved
Yeah.
adults almost. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is kind of me in a nutshell.
It's like
Yeah.
they made American Ninja 5 for the Karate Kid fan, right?
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
kid who loves Karate Kid. It was legit. Like if you watch, what was that show on TV about the kid who lived with his cop stepdad? And
Oh my God, what is that?
was it like
Tequila and
Sidekick?
Benetti.
It wasn't Sidekicks, but it
No,
was a show.
Sidekicks was the
that
Chuck
was
Norris
the Chuck Norris one.
and Jonathan Brandis.
Well, that's kind of it's the same vein, right? But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll
Talk
it.
about that next time.
Yeah.
So this
Maybe I'll remember the name of the TV show next.
by then, by next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a whole week to think about it. Good luck.
I had it.
Now there are still some really stupid canon shit in this, right? Like I'm not going to deny the fact that that there is still stupid canon shit here. Like every single one of these scenes with these motherfucking ninjas happen in the daytime. That's some stupid canon shit. But whatever, I'm fine with that.
At least there's a somewhat believable plot to this one.
Yeah, they're not creating a super ninja this time.
Yeah.
There's literally a guy named Super Ninja.
It's still,
actually in both of these movies.
It still begs the question though, because all these movies are kind of lousy with white villain with an ethnic sidekick who neither of them have any connections to the Japanese, but are somehow have been able to employ hundreds of ninjas. Right? Like every single one of these movies have that in it.
I mean, if you really think about it, though, all of these ninjas suck. So it's just like they got regular soldiers and put them in ninja
and they
outfits.
just thought it'd be cooler if they made them ninjas.
Yeah.
They got one guy. That's true. They got one guy who's a pretty good ninja mercenary type who tries to train up all these sort of also-rans into ninjas, but none of them are ready for prime time.
No.
Yeah.
The guys,
but they do a pretty good job on Delta Force in this movie.
Oh yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do.
They kind of overwhelmed Delta Force with numbers, and Delta
which
Force
I kind of thought is like Canon like punching low on their own franchise.
I know, right?
Are they like Delta Force ain't got shit on our
When did
American
Delta
Ninjas.
Force come out?
84.
Are those actual Delta Force actors?
No.
I didn't think so.
No, because they have no idea how to use guns.
No, they don't.
Although later there is one guy who takes a gun from a ninja and then shoots him with it.
Yeah.
So he does know how to disarm a ninja.
But when they're running from the ninjas and they're like firing their guns, it looks like someone just handed them a banana and they don't know what to do with it. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Like they're so incompetent with their weapons. But there's one moment where I was like, "Ooh, the tide has turned," because the two ninjas are up on that archway with bows and arrows. Of course, again, like these fucking ninjas bringing bows and arrows to gunfights,
All the time.
A guy just shoots them both. I was like, "Oh, the tide has turned."
Yeah, that one ninja's fall was great, and he's like screaming the whole way down, and even after he hits the ground, he's
he's still screaming now, like 30 years later.
Yes.
Yeah.
He saved all of his ability to finally talk now, because those ninjas were good at sneak at the start of this movie. Good enough.
Well, they are to the degree that they apparently are amphibious.
Yes.
Because
Well, that happens in 5 too.
It's totally cool in this one though when they get in the boat to get away.
It is cool.
And I'm like, oh, they might get away.
I knew immediately. It's like we're hanging too much on this.
Yeah, and then all of them come out of the water, and I just kind of assumed they had straws because that's what a normal ninja would do, like have something in their mouth,
like a reed.
But even if they do, let's just say they do, and they probably do.
Why are they there?
And they Are they prepared for every contingency?
Yes,
so they
you got to cut off every escape.
Like 12 of you go get in the muddy water of this river just in case they try to escape on this raft.
Yeah. That happens a lot in 4 and 5, and it's always funny.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
But well, like I said, there is some stupid canon shit in these movies. Even though they're my
But honestly,
favorites.
that was kind of like my favorite moment. And
Well, yeah.
maybe all of the movies was when they come up out of the water. That's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, because they surround.
Cinematic.
Yeah, they completely surround the boat. Now, I will also argue that they maybe didn't need the reeds to blow out of or to breathe out of, because Rico Browning could hold his breath for 4 minutes when he was the creature from the Black Lagoon. So
but they've been hanging out in there for a while.
Well, they probably were like just kind of like just above the water, just under their nose,
dip down.
and they're just like waiting, and it's like, they're coming, they're coming,
we're gonna get to do the thing. We're gonna get to do the thing.
Yeah, and they're so excited at that point. And can you imagine the number of buckets of Corona they celebrated with later that night?
They were so happy.
Yeah.
They're so happy.
Again, I don't exactly know what country this is. I know it was partly filmed in Lesotho.
Yeah, where the hell is that?
It's in Africa, but it's like, it doesn't look like none of the people in the movie, because it's stupid canon shit. None of the people in the movie look like they belong in a country that has all the different terrains that this country has.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But apparently Lesotho does.
Lesotho, yeah. I always say Lesotho. It's always Lesotho, not Lesotho. Yeah, anyway. So, and
this is our credit sequence, too.
Yeah.
All of this badass
we start with a cold
is happening while the credits are going.
Yep. We get practically a cold open action scene, James Bond style. It's like, all right, I'm on board.
And then we get our only comedy scene.
Yeah, so
It's very weird.
apparently Sean is just now Army Man. I thought he was Karate Man, but now he's Army Man.
All he was, just a couple years ago, was a karate champion ninja.
Yeah, so this is classic 80s shit. It's like you have a skill. Yeah, you have skill, so now your government is going to take advantage of your skill. Sorry, you have no choice. You are a karate man, now you are government man. Yeah.
Well, now apparently he knows. Go ahead.
They stopped Marjo Gortner in 3, and they got on the radar. Yeah.
But now his buddy, his buddy Kroger man Chris Rock. I didn't want to say great value Chris Rock, because this is a little bit elevated from that, because he looks a lot like Chris Rock.
It does.
He is not a cheap knockoff. This is Kroger brand.
His face is a little fatter, but yes.
Yeah, but he's almost there. He's getting married to a woman who I swear is like 15 years older than him. I don't think she got any makeup done on behind the set, because it just didn't look right. And she kind of
looked like Apollo Creed's wife in
and she would have been
Rocky
about
4.
she would have been about like 15, 20 years older than Chris Rock at this time.
Yeah. I don't know who the actor was, but yeah, they looked about the same.
Yeah, they don't look. It's just Anyway, so Sean gets a phone call in the middle. He's the best man, and also I like the fact that only the best man gets to stand at the altar. Those bridesmaids, fuck you. Go sit down. Go sit down.
Were you confused about who was getting married at first?
Yes,
I was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because that altar wasn't right. All of it was off. And so he gets a call, and he answers it. It's like business, duty calls. He answers it, and he goes right up to his buddy.
It's like it's your hillbilly uncle answering this phone during your marriage.
Oh my God,
wedding ceremony.
I've seen that. Shout out, gross. Anyway, he gets called.
And then you think, all right, well, he's just going to have to excuse himself, but he tells Dollar Store Chris Rock.
Not Dollar Store, it's Kroger brand. It's much higher level. It's much higher level.
Kroger brand, huh? You think a lot of Kroger, I guess.
That's where I get my food.
And so he leaves his bride at the altar, and they go to report to headquarters, I guess.
Headquarters or just a room, I don't know. And
some room in what might have been in a bar.
I don't know. There's a lot of rooms just in random buildings in these movies.
And the actual foreign country is never defined, right?
No,
it isn't until the 5th. The 5th is the first time they define what country they're in.
Where they're
Venezuela,
at. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You start in Florida and you go to Venezuela.
Well, three did too. It was just fictional.
Fair. But it didn't really matter because there was a lot more going on in 3.
I don't even remember that movie at this point.
There's so much going on. It creates it super compresses into a black hole and it sucks itself into.
Honestly, a lot of these movies bleed together because the plots are so similar. They're so similar.
Well, this one though, I think is different.
It's different, but it's still similar. I mean,
okay.
But there's right.
In this one, they're trying to build a bomb.
Yes,
and the next one they're trying to build a bomb. In the previous two, they were trying to build
bomb,
super
serum ninjas.
And the first one, they're gun running, like weapons running. But it's still very, very similar in nature. Got to stop the criminal activity. Somebody gets captured usually. Got to save the person who gets captured. This one just so happens that an American ninja gets captured.
The American ninja has to go defeat and beat up a guy with some foreign accent. That's what all these movies are.
So the CIA sends David Bradley,
Sean Cunningham,
Sean Davidson.
Sean Davidson.
But he also sends him with his buddy Carl.
Yes, Carl is that guy's name.
And he says something about Carl not being a field operative. This is suicide.
This is not a game. Those were ninja.
It's like, what? Yeah. Yes. And it's like, what about Joe Armstrong? So that he mentions Joe Armstrong. He says, I've tried. Joe's in the Peace Corps now. He's all full of peace, love, and light. He won't help his fellow soldiers, right?
I mean,
he really makes him out to be a real piece of shit.
Yeah, because this is a canon movie. That piece is for bullshit in a canon movie, and it would be less shocking after that line if they turned out that the actual puppet master of everything was the guy who joined the Peace Corps. The Joe Armstrong.
I thought he was going to be there. That would have been hilarious.
Because it would have been like, oh, we dislike peace so much at Canon Films. We need to punch out all the guys with funny accents that the guy who leaves the army that does the punching of the funny accents is the bad guy in the end. I would have almost expected it.
Let me ask you a question at this point real quick, because they bring up the bad guy's name, and I haven't looked this up. But I'm pretty sure his name is either Scarf Morglue or Scarf Morglue.
You're really close. It's Scarf Mulgrew.
Scarf
Mulgrew.
Scarf.
That just sounds like you're choking on marbles.
Well, everyone who said his name, I was like, what are they saying?
I know.
They're chewing on rocks.
It's like, wow, what a name. Scarf Mulgrew. And then if you throw Colonel in there, Colonel Scarf Mulgrew. Like, that's impossible to say 3 times fast.
You can't say it.
It just comes out.
Yeah.
And then they had that kid from Philadelphia who's in whatever country they're in this one, trying to say his name over and over again. I'm like, no, please, no, don't say it again.
Was it Paolo?
With that kid's accent, it was so funny.
He always had rocks in his mouth. Go ahead. What? It's almost what?
All right. I don't know. It's almost
one thing that happens when they parachute the 2 guys in, my first major laugh because I kind of chuckled at the wedding. It's like, oh, I guess, okay, you're just going to leave. See you later. We'll get married and we'll get back if we come back. But when they parachute in and they take off their tactical parachute clothes and Carl is just dressed like a dorky, fucking
investment banker.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
He's got the fucking members only jacket on and the button down dress shirt, and it's like that was under his tactical gear. And
I made the same comment.
Sean's got this bulky ass leather jacket. I'm like, who are these people?
I'm just glad he got rid of his Texas tuxedo.
And I guess it kind of makes sense, because at first I was like, wait a minute. I mean, they're dropping them into the bush here, and this is what they're wearing. And then I realized, oh, well, they actually have to go meet their contact in the town or whatever. It's like, all right, I guess I could forget it, but it's still.
But they don't meet them in
shirt
town.
Fucking killed me.
Oh,
Yeah, they meet him in town. Oh, not their contact. They don't, but they meet their contact.
But they have to meet their contact, and then the contact's going to take them to town. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're not like immediately in stealth mode. I mean, they don't want to be caught, obviously, but they're not.
But it is funny that they have to.
They're not going to storm the castle yet, you know?
It is funny that they have to take the bus because the kid's car doesn't work in the argument about Marlon Brando.
Yeah, it's like.
And Sean is like, whoa, no.
They're having some kind of argument about One-Eyed Jacks, the movie One-Eyed Jacks with Brando, and if that's Brando or Cagney, I think. I don't even know.
It's so weird.
Those are two people you should never confuse because they're from two different generations.
Yeah, I'm like, well, who came up with this? This is so bizarre. Yeah. And then, of course, they arrive at the Mos Eisley Cantina.
Yeah.
Because the music that they're playing at this bar, I don't even know if I've ever heard anything like it, and I don't think I'll ever hear anything like it again. But the closest thing I could think of that it reminded me of was the fucking band from the Mos Eisley Cantina.
That's funny.
Oh my God.
This is some weird reggae, like weird reggae.
It was like reggae Caribbean kind of, but it was flat.
But again, what country is this? Because, it
was like they probably called themselves Colonel Scarf Mulgrew. That was their band name.
Yeah,
it's like they slowed down a Bobby McFerrin song and just played it.
Yeah, and like they had all just gotten drunk and high on cough syrup and started playing
BB12.
Bobby McFerrin songs. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
BB12.
Yes.
So they are. I also made a note that it's like, oh, it's nice that the bartender is self-aware here, because like he's making fun of the situation of Delta Force got their asses handed to him, and so they're going to send these two nerds to try to stop the guys who wiped the floor with Delta Force. Yeah. And then, of course, that forces their hand to have to show that they're worth something. Now, Carl, like, it's one of those classic situations where Carl has to end up, like, beating up, like, one guy while Sean beats up everyone else.
Well, right. It starts out really, really dubiously, because the cut of him grabbing the bottle and smashing it over the guy's head is I don't know what the right word is. It's
weird.
Weird, yeah. It cuts almost to like him already mid motion with the bottle. So
they
it's
didn't
like,
get enough coverage.
From? Yeah, there's not enough coverage. Yeah, it's really, really off-putting. It's like it's one of those moments,
guys.
It's one of those moments you see in a movie that actually teaches you more about editing than a good edit, right?
Yeah.
Because they're just like, oh, that's what you don't do.
Right. Yeah. Bad editing teaches you far more about good editing than good editing.
I love when he puts the big dude in the corner pocket. I wish he just said big dude corner pocket or something. Like God. Shot when he gets him under the table. It's so
my favorite
this movie
thing
would have benefited from some one-liners, so it really would have.
It would have.
Yeah. But would you have trusted the dude or Brad to do the one-liners?
Brad, yes. I mean, we'll talk about it next.
He's better a couple of years later.
In the next one,
he does. He does.
Yeah.
But you can see his progression of getting more and more likable and more interesting from 3 to 4 to 5.
Definitely.
But
it's a comfort level for sure.
Yeah. But my favorite thing was at the very end of the fight. He puts a guy down, and then a lady just walks over and just smashes a bottle on him. It's so great. It's like she just had to get her look, like he's been bugging her all day, and now she finally has a chance to smash that bottle.
That's his old lady or something.
Yeah.
My favorite part is then when their contact takes him up to the room, and he says, "Let me give you a quick rundown of the situation." And I'm like, "Oh, thank God!" And then it cuts to something else.
Yeah, I was like, "Wait." Because
no time to describe anything.
It comes back though. It comes back, and he explains the whole situation with the impregnable bomb fortress, right? But
again, another editing lesson, right? Like you don't cut right there and go to the car, and they only do it for 3 seconds. You don't even know what it signifies that Scarf Morgler nerd is coming.
Scarf Morgler nerd.
You don't even know that he's coming. You can't figure it out. It's too quick, but he is coming, and he knows beyond a shadow of a doubt these two new people. Like the things that this man knows all the time is pretty scary.
Well, he's British, so.
Is he? I
don't know.
Figure out where the fuck he was from.
Yeah, he's British. And for some reason, he hates the United States. That's really kind of undefined.
Yeah,
why.
the Revolutionary War.
He never got over it.
Off.
Yeah, he never got over it. You know?
He's a hardliner. 1812 war shouldn't have happened, man.
He's easily the best villain.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, yes. Oh my God, yes. He's
so good.
He's Ernie from Twin Peaks season 2. He was in like 4 or 5 episodes.
Oh, that's him?
Yeah.
Wow.
He was Hank Jennings' cellmate.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes back and tries to create ruckus. Yeah.
I remember that.
Yep.
Well, he creates some ruckus at this bar because for some reason, for a really flimsy wooden door, they blow it open.
Yeah.
They blow the door open.
That's how he does everything. That's how Skler Bogardar does everything.
He is super, super brutal. Yeah.
Yeah. He's aggressive, brutal, and just mean.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah,
so like he wants to know, like, okay, because it's like you got to hide. You know, Scarf Morgler is coming. And it's like, okay, well, we don't want to get Margot murdered. And then, so they go into the closet and they're like, okay, whatever happens, you got to go to Beyond Thunderdome.
Yes, you had to go to Mad Max.
You got to go to Mad Max World.
Yes.
This is another reason why I love this fucking movie.
It's so fucking wild, man.
It turns
that is wild.
It
It takes kind of an Italian turn there.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, man. And they all sit around at night singing "We Don't Need Another Ninja."
Yeah, we don't need another ninja.
But then the movie's like, wait a minute, yes, you do. And then
we need lots of ninjas. We need lots of ninjas.
So they, so they was like, get in the closet. No matter what happened, this is where you got to go. And Mortimer says, "Where's the guys at?" And I was like, "I don't know." So he just shoots that guy dead. That guy is deadzo. Now he does a thing with Paolo that I'm trying to figure out.
It's creepy, man.
It is, because it seems really inappropriate.
It's very
What does he do?
sexual.
Grab his crotch? I can't remember what he does.
No, he like nips at his ear.
And he's like touching his shoulder. And
Yeah.
it gets really.
I
really
wondered if this
lecherous.
was I wonder if it was a little bit of a, because of course this is Canon Films, late 80s. Were they trying to code him as being a little gay too?
I mean, that was exactly what I was picking up on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which, of course, back then in Canon Films would have meant he's a crazy monster and he's going to do something to this kid.
Yeah. But he was also like, sexually violent with the lady.
Oh yeah, he's just he's like he's just a deviant
offender here.
Yeah. So, and that gets Paolo to say they're in the closet, but just as he says that, like Sean's like, hell yeah, let's do this. And he starts kicking people.
I love that. Was actually a good edit because it was just like bam.
Yeah.
And then he kicks through a guy and out the window and down the thing. And then you see Carl just kind of walk out like, oh, I'm not a field agent.
Right.
I'm not graceful in these situations.
I'm not graceful in my accountant uniform.
Right.
Oh, and this is where they go to meet
Dr. Sarah,
our lone female protagonist, Dr. Sarah. Usually, these movies have a lone female protagonist as well, and Dr. Sarah is ours.
She's a bit of a Dr. Mommy.
Yeah, she is. Robin Still.
She's got that really bad, like late 80s, early 90s hair, where they do the bangs thing in the front.
You don't think Dr. Mommy has bad hair?
To back around here. Well, Dr. Mommy has like deep crimson hair, so that goes a long way.
Okay,
goes
fair
a
enough.
long way.
I can tell you a lot more about Robin Still. She was the lead in Slumber Party Massacre.
Yep.
Which is interesting because
she had better hair in that.
Yeah. What's interesting, I do agree with you. this movie doesn't do her any favors either. She was 29 in this movie.
Oh, she looks way older than that.
Yes, she does.
Yeah.
This was one of her last movies, or one of her last jobs.
She was also in this Babes in the Sly Bolorama.
Yeah. But this was her last movie. She was having a hard time getting roles, so she became an alcoholic, and then she killed herself in 96.
We talked about this recently, didn't we?
Did we? I don't think so.
No, not her.
Maybe we talked about another actress who had a similar...
Yeah, it was somebody else. I don't remember who it was.
Doesn't matter.
But yeah, but Robin still, I mean, like, they don't give her much for this movie, and she's not well directed either, because she is friggin' awesome in Slumber Party Massacre.
Yes, she is.
So yeah, that's an unfortunate tale.
I think she's pretty good in that first scene.
She's fine in the first scene, but she's not good in the action stuff. Right. She's not particularly good in the actual action scenes, which is where a better director would have probably helped her through that.
I mean, it's way underwritten too. I mean,
sure.
And there's also a lot
of... actually has probably an interesting backstory, but that you never get.
Yeah, they're not.
And then it's just damsel in distress for the rest of the movie.
It's like we're gonna knock her around a little bit later, and then she's gonna go off with Sean, and then write your own story.
She's just there to raise the stakes.
Yeah. Which is interesting because the stakes are already fairly high just with Sean alone. Like her part
and the whole Delta Force being held in captivity.
and the suitcase nuke.
We should say what are the plan, because I'm a little confused about what the actual plan is. What do they want from the U.S.? They want something from the U.S. Otherwise, they're going to execute the Delta Force. That's the whole reason for the mission, is they got to get the Delta Force out. The ones that survived, because they killed a bunch of them, even killed and tortured a bunch of them, even burned them alive on crosses.
He wants 50.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, he wants 50. $50
million.
Yeah, Muff Diver wants $50 million.
Otherwise,
he's he's going to use New York with the suitcase nuke
and kill the Delta Force
the Delta. That's it. Yeah, but it doesn't really matter, because really, once you capture, once Scarf. I want a name. I wish my name was Scarf.
Just name your next cat that.
Scarf Mulgrew is the next cat. Yeah. So but anyway, he chases Paolo, Carl, and Sean, and Paolo says, "I know a doctor lady. I'm going to take you, doctor lady. She'll help with whatever." And he's like, "Okay, cool." But then he just kind of follows them there, and it isn't long before they have to run away anyway, and he has to do some ninja magic, people in the steeple business.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that ninja magic absolutely requires balls on the ground splits.
Oh, you mean when he's hiding behind the table?
No, when he's in the woods, when they're in the woods.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And because he's got to prepare for action. Meanwhile, apparently alone, I don't know where he's left Carl or Sarah. He's doing this all by himself. And then next thing you know, the action has come, and Carl and Sarah is over there in mortal danger. It's like, okay.
It's also poorly edited, right? Because it's like all of a sudden happening, and it's happening in 3 or 4 different locations, it feels like.
And it's confusing too, because the kid is there. The Rockmouth kid is there, but he somehow escapes the net and gets away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck's going on there.
But then, that's right, because that happens afterward, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when they all get captured, he doesn't. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But he throws some ninja stars.
Yeah, he does.
But you know what? I like the one shot where he's fighting the one ninja, and his back is turned to a bunch of other ninjas who are facing the other direction. So
he snuck in behind the line.
Neither of them see each other, right? Because he snuck in behind them, and then he dispatches all the ninjas that are in front of him, and then he turns around, and all those ninjas turn around, And it's like, oh, fuck. There's a lot more ninjas. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot.
And he doesn't have the element of surprise for these ninjas.
Yeah. It's almost as if he could have turned to the camera and it's like, they're right behind me, aren't they?
He also pulls out a watch garrote. You don't see those very often outside of a James Bond movie.
Right. Yeah. It's like, unless it's a James Bond movie or a 60s Euro spy James Bond ripoff.
100%. Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, they get captured. And at this point, apparently, this is just instantly known by the U.S. Like the U.S. or G.I. Joe or whoever it is that keep sending these people in are like, our guys got captured. Only one place to go now. And so we meet Joe Armstrong, and one of my favorite lines ever written in a movie is him teaching his class, and he says, today's lesson is on environment.
Oh, God.
Go outside and find an example of our environment and bring it back so we can discuss it.
I wrote this down too.
Right here, everywhere, right here is it. Can we discuss now? Because otherwise, I'm just going to go outside and play until you call us back in.
It's written by someone who totally was on the side of environmental issues being like a liberal scam, right? So to him, it was just completely meaningless word that is supposed to be mocked, almost like wokeness or whatever it is today, right? And so now watching it 30 years later, and you read that and you hear that line, it's like, well, no, there's a lot more to that now, Mr. Screenwriter, than it was 30 years ago.
It's like the opposite of Birdemic.
Because 100% it is.
It is
because they're trying to make him him out to be weak and out of touch, and he's not a tough guy anymore. So he's in the Peace Corps talking about environment, right?
But the thing is, though, what's hilarious is that they're trying to make him come off as weak, but the moment he inserts into the film, he's a fucking badass. He is far more badass in this than he is in the other two movies he was in.
Agree.
Yes, he is.
I mean, he is dispatching fools immediately.
Yeah.
But before that happens, we have a ninja training scene.
Oh my God, it's so good. Well, one, I just want to say that Merglingini kills a few of the Delta Force people, then he shoots the legs off a chair and hangs the big dude. Mm-hmm. And he has this great line where go ahead.
That was before. Those were the people in the bar that he was torturing to find out who the people were that they
okay. Well, I knew the one big guy was from the bar. I thought the other but when he shoots the chair legs out and then he says, tell my friend the devil I'm not ready to come home yet. I'm like, damn, I love this dude. This guy's the shit. But he's brutal.
It's delivered with conviction, too.
Yeah.
Like, if Marjorie Gortner delivered that line, it would have been so goofy.
He'd be like, listen, guys, tell my friend the devil I'm not ready to come home yet.
I mean, we're kind of dealing with an actual good actor here. Like, James Booth was in fucking everything in like the 60s, 70s, and 80s.
And he is bought in.
He knows what he's doing here. Yeah.
Sorry to back us up there, but I had to get that line in.
Oh,
yeah, no, absolutely.
He was also in Ken Russell's very first feature film.
Oh.
French Dressing.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. The same year he made Zulu, which is probably the movie he's most famous for.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, so yes, there is the
ninja training.
The ninja training montage. Is this the one that I was talking about? I giggled all the way through.
Wait a minute.
With the clapping?
Hold on a second.
Yes.
Guys. James Booth, he was the general in Avenging Force.
Really?
He was Admiral Brown in Avenging Force, and he wrote Avenging Force.
Amazing.
That's insane.
This guy, give this guy an Oscar immediately.
He gets
Find his grave and cram
Oscar.
it in there. Yeah.
Canon Oscar, James Booth.
Yeah.
All right. The man responsible for Force Fest, basically.
Well, one of the four. Well, not. Well, No, I mean the man responsible for Force Fest is fucking Cameron Mitchell.
So by the time James Booth made it to American Ninja 4, he had firmly entrenched himself in the Michael Dudikoff canon, Sam Furstenberg lore. Like
the Dudikoff-averse.
The Dudikoff-averse, yes. I like that.
Okay, Ninja Gone Infinity. What's happening here with all these colored
oh my
ninjas
God.
and
so many colored
the rainbow ninjas. By the way, there's so many ninjas, so many extras here. Did you notice that there's a good number of them are women?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
you saying a woman can't be a ninja, Jeff?
Well, no, I'm just saying it's like
pretty progressive for 1991, though.
Yeah,
we've got
in a movie that uses the term environment
correctly.
derogatory.
Yeah, right. But yeah, it's like, hey, it's like who wants to be in a movie and like just take whoever raised their hand, and it's like, so anytime you see a little short ninja walk by, it's like, look at the eyes. It's obviously a lady ninja.
So now you're calling women short. God.
They're all shorties to me.
Jeff's not as progressive as this movie.
Shorties,
they're all shorties. I get it. I like it.
We also see our main master ninja villain.
Super Ninja is his name in this, but
really
he's not
Super
being
Ninja?
created.
Wow.
Yeah, but he is dressed like he's from
Super
like
Ninja.
the fucking medieval times. Like
He's got a silver eye patch.
yeah, he's got a silver eye patch. He's got like chainmail on it.
Chainmail eye patch. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And that's the guy, and he's going to be the guy that the dude has to fight.
Yeah.
Sean, you get somebody else. I'm sorry.
Oh, he just ends up mopping the floor with Skorfmorgerog, who can't really actually fight. He can only fuck up people who are tied up,
Yeah.
Yeah, he's only good if he has a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah. The moment you get close to him, he's finished. And but we'll get around to it. There's a good end to Super Ninja. It's about now that it becomes Beyond Thunderdome.
No, not yet. We got to talk about the scene first.
We got to talk about the scene. The scene is
sorry.
absolutely batshit. Yeah. Chuck,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah. So
the Sheik just little golf
Little
claps.
golf claps.
yeah, and weirdly placed golf claps. So they have this ninja. What do you call it? American Ninja Warrior set.
It's just an obstacle course.
Yeah,
It's like a deadly obstacle course. Yeah.
So Super Ninja's doing it well.
Especially to the nuts.
But then the one guy who's walking behind him when they go on that parallel bar or whatever, and there's glass and the guy's nuts get eviscerated, and they cut to the bad guy and he's like,
Yeah.
it's
so
good.
Clap.
Yeah.
It's so good. So all of these ninjas go like one of them dies, but the Super Ninja always gets through, basically.
Yeah.
But then they bring in Sklurf is like, hey, these people are dangerous. You need to execute them on sight. And then they bring them on site, and he's like, are these the ninjas you were talking about? And then they beat Sean Bradley up, and he's like, maybe I should fight back for a minute instead of getting kicked over and over and over again. And he does. He kicks the shit out of a few ninjas, and then another ninja is very unfair and shoots him in the neck with a blow dart that knocks him out.
That we don't actually see in the reverse shot.
No, I was looking for it. I didn't see it.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
And
by the way, I love the fact that you called him.
The second villain is named Sheik Ali. His
of course.
Stereotypical. It's like Robert Forster, but an actual Sheik costume.
Yeah, right? I mean, again, it's canon. It's like, of course, those guys are going to be the bad guys.
Very stereotypical, like Middle Eastern Arab terrorist here, who is fundamentalist about his praise of Allah. And at one point in this scene, he says something to the degree of, how pleased he is that he has all these ninjas to entertain him for the glory of Allah or something like that. And Marv Garv says something like, you always were full of shit, Ali.
Yeah, I love it.
Like, he's constantly giving Sheik Ali the business the entire movie.
Yeah.
Sheik Ali also has one of my favorite lines later too. We'll get to eventually, but the Chuck, I like that you called Sean Bradley instead of Sean Davidson.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
The whole time I'm trying to not call him Sean Bradley too.
I don't even know what I've done wrong there. So
No, you've taken the real guy's last name with the character's first name.
Golf
yeah. Thank you. I just eviscerated my own nuts
your own
on a
nuts.
podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So now we can go to
Thunder.
Joe meets our the only contact in this whole weird country is Paolo.
Paolo.
Yeah.
And they're in a funky car. I think maybe it's the car that Paolo was supposed to be driving in the first place. Maybe got it fixed. I don't know. It's funky looking. And then, bam! Ninja on the roof. Just
Bam!
out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Bam!
Bam. Breaks the front window. It's like, uh-oh.
Uh-oh. We know what that means. We've been around the block.
We've been around, but
have you also noticed that the CIA keeps sending less and less people?
yes.
So the entire
It's like,
Delta
well, maybe.
Force.
So Delta Force was way too many people.
All
Two
of
was
Delta Force
almost too many.
dispatched. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they send 2 people, one of which is not a field operative. And then all they have to do in the end is just to send
a lone wolf. A lone wolf.
Joe
ninja.
Armstrong the Dudikoff, and he'll get the job done. But you never thought maybe we're just sending like good money after bad at this point, right? Like maybe we need another tactic other than one less guy.
Well, I mean, really, you know what the real world tactic would be. Where are they at? Here comes a drone.
Well, yeah, nowadays for sure.
But even back then, it would have been, where are they at? Here comes a jet.
Yeah, here comes the stealth bomber.
Sorry, acceptable losses if somebody got captured. Sorry.
For sure.
You know,
Delta Force, they would probably have sent a small team. Definitely more than just David Bradley and an
accountant. Yeah, right.
Yeah, and an accountant.
Or whatever he is, yeah.
They definitely would have had like SEAL support or something. Like it would have
SEAL
just been
Team
CIA,
6.
CIA agents.
Come on, SEAL Team 6 would have been there.
A CIA, you might have 1 or 2 CIA agents leading the show, but you'd have a whole team of SEALs, right?
Who are doing reconnaissance.
Yeah.
And then 2 things. 1, their job is not to infiltrate.
I've seen
2,
Tom
if they
Clancy
get
movies.
I know, right?
Works. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've been alive long enough, to know that this, but then the other job would have been, if we get captured, well, that's the unfortunate thing about being in the army. Sometimes you get sent off to die, and it's like, so yeah, now, but this movie has to send.
It's like the Russian doll version.
People.
Yeah, it's like the Russian doll version of Invasion,
in reverse.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
It's like we sent way too many people the first time. We sent a little bit more than needed the second time, and now
we're sending the biggest badass there is.
Well,
right,
one that all the others would fit in.
Somebody in the CIA said, "Fuck it, let's get the Dudikoff."
Let's get the Dudikoff.
It's like he's almost Rambo, right? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. So this is where he's going to go. I think it's Paolo is going to take him to the garbage people from that one season of Walking Dead.
Yes.
He's going to take him. He's going to take him to Bartertown and convince.
This movie could have really used the Master Blaster.
Oh my God! It almost had one.
Almost.
But I guess what's the backstory here? It was a prison camp where the prisoners revolted.
There's a backstory?
Yeah, there was.
They mentioned
it was
Paolo mentioned it, I think.
It used to be a prison camp for anybody who was against the government, but so many people became anti-government of this whatever country that they ended up basically taking it over to the point where the government of this whatever country said, you know what? Maybe we're not going to fuck with that.
And it's called Sulphur Springs, right? Is the penal colony?
Yeah.
Which was throwing me for a loop because White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia, is where the Greenbrier Resort is, and famously it used to be one of the one of several presidential sites for if like nuclear war happened, where they would go underneath to hide. And you can take tours of the underground bunkers now because they've been getting decommissioned.
Well,
but
this
it was like
place,
Fallout shit.
This place is Fallout shit.
It has been falling out. Yeah. It's a blown out butthole. Yeah.
It's a blown out butthole. It's a fucking prolapse butthole.
For once, I'm not making fun of another country or people.
I mean, we don't know what country this is, so we're
well, that's fair. Yeah.
We don't. And yeah, they basically live with trash. I mean, they're a post-apocalyptic community that has not yet experienced the true apocalypse. They're
ready for it, man. Yeah. When it happens,
they're just ahead of the curve. Yeah.
When that happens, they're gonna be the big dogs.
Well, they'll already know how to live like garbage people. Yeah. Yeah.
They even had a few power bottoms in there.
They all had weird helmets. It was
sorry, Mad Max month joke.
Oh man.
But the same thing that happened to Sean at the bar happens here. The Dudikoff has to fight to prove himself. All the while, Tambo, whatever his name is, the guy.
Dr. Tamba.
Dr. Tamba.
He's a doctor. He is a doctor.
He's a doctor of the apocalypse.
Why not call him Dr. Apocalypse?
I don't know. But yes, the dude kicks the shit out of everybody. And they're like, hey,
and they're going to kill him for it. And Dr. Tamba, like, he gets up from his, I don't know, plate of beans or whatever he was eating, and he goes over to the corner. He's like, hey, cut that out.
We need people like
we need him. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then he's like basically crowned king of the prolapsed butthole town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's like, what do we need to do here, Mr. Dudikoff? You're clearly a white American and we need your help.
Well, and then Dudikoff's like, first of all, I only film in schools. So we need to go to a school and steal the plans of another school.
Yeah. Yeah. And to do it, he dresses as a Catholic priest.
Yes, a ninja priest, really. Yeah. He looks like, Well,
Molgarov has that real good line. He's like, what priest? It's like, I shot all the priests.
He's like, what? Yeah, he says exactly, there are no bloody priests. I shot them all months ago.
Yeah. Oh, and not long after that, he tells Sheikh Ali when he starts to pray, he's like, Mecca is that way, old chap.
He's so good,
He's
man.
The best, I agree.
I bet you he wrote those lines for himself, too.
Well, he didn't write this, but he might have been.
Oh, he probably.
No, that's what I'm saying.
I can't imagine that David Jeeves wrote anything as good as that.
Unless there was another writer's strike or something that was going on, and he was like, you know what? This is going to be my pseudonym for the script.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe. Because Jeeves, come on. Only British people are named Jeeves.
It's true. Anyway, where are we?
He
steals the plans.
He steals the plans, yeah.
Yeah, so now they know how to blow up the Death Star, but they forgot this is American Ninja 4. We need to actually do some ninja shit. So they're like, okay, well, here, we're just going to send the garbage people on a caravan straight into the fucking place.
Oh my God! It's like Warriors of the Year 2020 coming.
So this is like a brilliant in theory plan that they don't actually carry out, right? So I thought the people that were coming in the caravan were supposed to take the attention of everyone else, so that our ninja could break in through the back door, which is what he does.
Yes,
but they arrive way too late
change of ninja attire.
Oh yeah, when he jumps into the pit and then jumps, it's a Superman change. He does it in a pit instead.
It was at that point I was like, "This is the best movie of the series."
Yes,
bar none.
Are the apocalyptic warriors all chanting "kill, kill, kill"? Is that what's happening then, or is that later?
I think it's
that's later.
Oh, that was when their execution.
Yeah, that was the bad guys. Yeah, not.
But that's what's about to happen though. Is they're all strung up, and all the ninjas are chanting "kill, kill, kill" because they're gonna execute everyone. Meanwhile, the warriors of year 2072 or whatever the fuck are coming.
The Raiders of Atlantis.
And then
only
the
for
Dudikoff has come in through the sewer lines.
I don't know, but he changes
the ammunition. It's the old ammunition transfer line that runs under the place.
And then Margot Rolfe was like, "Oh, must be an idiot to forget about that." You know?
Yeah, so stupid.
One of the greatest things, and this is why I should watch far more movies on Tubi than I did. But he's fighting his way through the tunnels, right? And it's at that point he captures that bolt with his teeth.
Oh my god!
And then he uses it to he turns his head and he right in the throat of the other guy. Immediately smash cut to commercial for Modelo beer with the mark of the fighter. Smash cut right back to that scene. I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever. Oh my god. I know, right? It's like, this is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me in a movie watching experience. It was so perfect.
Tubi should just do Cerveza Cristal commercials from now on. I did notice that too, Jeff, but not to the extent that you did. I was like, oh, that's wild that they just smash cut in and out like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because normally there's like a
30 seconds or a minute.
Normally it's like it's a much more suitable place for a commercial break. Like it's a transfer of scenes, or it's something. It doesn't happen in the middle of a scene like that. And normally it's like 3 or 4 or 5 commercials. This was only one commercial. For Modelo for the mark of the fighter, and I'm like, oh my god, this is perfect.
But yeah,
that makes me want to go buy some Modelos. I'm gonna drink some Modelos this weekend.
That arrow catch to throat stab is fucking brilliant. It's so good.
I mean, again, this movie just keeps getting better and better and better as I'm watching. I'm like, fuck the rest of this.
Not even
this
the best kill.
I know.
It's still coming. All right.
I gotta go on, Chuck.
Yeah. So the dude whose character I can't remember his name right now, he goes into the basement. Joe finds Sean, and he's like, Sean, are you dead,
here's the
Sean?
problem. We already know that that's not Sean. That's a problem with the editing again. Also.
Oh, I didn't realize he was outside.
Yeah, no, we already saw him strung up because I even said to myself, it's like, oh, look, they gave him a little execution clothes. Like everybody was dressed in like those.
The blue little
they're all dressed up like Sub-Zero.
The fact that he's in his ninja uniform was a tip off to me either way.
Well, also, he didn't really look like Sean. He didn't really look. I mean, it was the actor, but he didn't really.
Yeah, they put some makeup on his eyes and stuff or whatever. But
I immediately thought, this is some American Ninja 3 shit happening here.
Yes, and it was. But Sean kills him, or Joe kills him, and is all sad, and then he realizes, oh, there's a mask on his face.
His face is ripping off.
I love it. It's just a little bit on his forehead.
And it's pretty clever the way they do it.
And then he peels a little bit on his forehead, and he peels the whole face off. I was like, I don't know about clever. It looked okay.
I don't know.
Chuck says it's clever. I agree. We win, Chuck.
Yeah. Now,
I see what you're doing here, maybe.
But now Joe knocks another ninja out in plain sight in a doorway. And I'm like, wait a minute, how is nobody seeing this?
I know. He is so fucking nonchalantly just kicking ass in the town square of this plant or whatever it is.
While a guy is on fire.
Yeah, live burn.
Yeah, and he's wearing bright yellow.
Yeah,
because he stole somebody's uniform.
A lot of these movies have a live burn. It's like the thing you put in a movie in the 80s and 90s when you didn't have a lot of stunt budget.
Yeah, you can't go blow up a car.
But you had enough and at least one guy willing to set someone on fire.
Is that like God willing?
No.
Yeah.
One guy willing. You just said one guy willing to set somebody on fire, which is all of canon.
Yeah.
Yeah. True.
It's like,
you don't see
we
it
will
anymore.
light somebody on fire.
You just don't see it anymore. And I'm sorry,
I don't even know how many.
Even today in 2024, the CG guy on fire just doesn't look as good as an actual guy on fire.
I'm wondering. I'm going to bring up a random movie here that Jason, I think you saw. The burn at the end of Sick. That looked like a live burn.
I have to see it again, but I do remember that impressing me.
Yeah.
It might have been a live burn.
So it happens, or they did a really good job with it in that one with the CGI. But yeah, Sean goes and leans up against the wall. He's whistling. He takes out another guy and rolls away with him, and then drops smoke.
Yep. And then frees Sean. So Joe smokes the place out, frees Sean, and it's like, oh boy, it's on now.
It's on now. It's fucking on now. And what happens is they fight a couple people, and then they all go into the building. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Why did they send them all into the building?
Yeah.
And like even Joe goes in there, and all the ninjas are just standing there watching, like they're in the building now. They're in there. Should we go get them?
Right over there.
What should we do? I see them right behind that gate. And then we have the Raiders of Atlantis Warriors of 72 come flying through the fence. And then Joe's like, oh, we can all come back out now and start kicking ass again. It'll be great.
It's like, we just need it. Hey guys, hang on a second. We're going to take a break. We got some bottled waters back here.
I mean, it's kind of genius, honestly. That's some good tactical planning.
It's good tactical planning. Why wouldn't those guys chase them? Like
they weren't given the order.
I guess
Super Ninja doesn't speak, and so he didn't do like any kind of motion or or whatever to go after. And so they're like, "Oh, what do we do?"
It's good tactical planning. It's bad editing because it could have had the attack happen simultaneously.
Right.
Sure. And then they never went inside. It's like, he's like, really?
Well, I think if they go inside and wait for the initial bombardment, that's for their own safety.
Oh,
right?
okay. Yeah, that could be okay.
And then they can come out and start mopping up the rest, right?
And they mop
But it is
up.
weird. There's a weird waiting period there, but it's still like funny enough to me that I'm like, this is funny. I like this.
It's like, oh, they're going into the building because that's the way out.
No,
we're still here.
Yeah, we're just sitting there.
We're just still here. It's like practically they're like on the like they go looking.
It's like
out
Homer
the windows,
receding into the bush.
Yeah,
yeah. But they all like go to like the windows and like make funny faces at him or something.
Yeah.
It's like, they ain't after us.
And when they go out to kick ass, they're like, Kelly, you can't come out. No, you stay in here. Sarah, whatever her name is. I don't know what her name is.
Dr. Sarah. She didn't even get a last name, I don't think.
No,
oh, poor girl. So while all that fighting is going on, we have the Ali guy runs out to the helicopter, which has the suitcase nuke in it. And what does he say, Jeff?
So the guy who's flying the helicopter, like you would, says, "Where to?" And Ali says, "Mecca."
Mecca.
And I'm like, of course.
Yeah, of course he's going to Mecca.
And then Molgrove says, "You Arab prick," when he sees the helicopter up in the air.
But then Carl, I keep wanting to call him Carl Banks. It's like, no, wait, he played for the Giants.
Oh yeah.
But no, but Carl's like, haha, I'm going to go blow up a little toy helicopter.
Oh my God, I know.
It's so wonderful.
It's
so
hilarious.
Adorable.
I feel like they just shot it once and they're like, we'll go with that.
Whatever, fuck it.
It's really, really good that the fucking nuclear weapon didn't go off.
Yeah, it wasn't charged. Yeah.
Well, we'll see next week how easy it is to what is it? Not detonate. Disassemble? What's the word I'm looking for?
Unassemble?
Deactivate?
Disassemble? Deactivate?
Yeah, probably deactivate
a bomb. We'll see how easy it is next week.
Yeah, we will actually.
So I believe a rocket launcher or whatever will blow the bomb up in the air.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
yeah. You can blow up a nuclear bomb without the nuclear bomb being activated.
Right. Without the fission.
I mean, that's all of that's all the Star Wars shit, like the Ronald Reagan one.
With all of my knowledge on this topic,
well, you are a doctor in nuclear bombs.
You have to destroy the mechanism that detonates the bomb. Yes.
Dr. Jarmo given the
Dr.
info.
Jarmo.
Well, I mean, we also watched the James Bond movie where it was like really important that they understood how to deactivate. That's why Denise Richards had to come along for everything. It's like you need to know how to deactivate the plutonium.
True. So Scurf Murgler takes Dr. Sarah and runs into the building. He actually just doesn't go into the door. He actually runs into the building, and Sean chases him, and Joe stays out in the courtyard and fights Super Ninja. Yeah. And the cutting here kind of sucks too. Like between the two fights, I'm like, just stay on one for a minute for me. Let's see what happens. But the least interesting.
Let's see what happens. And if we don't like it, we can go to the other one.
Yeah, we go to the other one.
After the toy helicopter explodes, I kind of check out, because it's just like.
You missed the best thing in the fucking movie then.
What?
Okay, so we'll talk about the least interesting thing first. Sean goes and beats the shit out of Scarf and kills him. And while he's doing that, Joe is outside fighting the Super Ninja. And he finally gets the upper hand and kicks him onto a crate of boxes and throws a fucking grenade on him and blows him up. It's so good. Yeah. It's so good. I was like, damn, you just blew up the fucking Super Ninja.
and all the Thunderdome guys are like, yeah. They're like cheering in the background.
I feel like those Thunderdome people became exactly what they just defeated in the future.
Probably. Oh yeah, 100%. Mm-hmm. It's like, we have this place now.
Yeah.
We're gonna build an army. Yeah. Yep. And we're gonna make this our country. Yeah.
And then Dr. Sarah's like, why did that yellow ninja save you? And he's like, oh, that's my buddy. He's a man of few words, but he's a hero. Or I'm like, okay, that's cool. Yeah. And then they cut to Joe not saying anything for like 7 minutes. And then he turns around and goes, hey, Sean, you could find me at the school. Arms up, movie over.
Yeah.
Like, what does that actually mean?
I don't know.
It doesn't fucking matter.
He's going back to peace. He's back to peace.
But is it in the same country? Is it some other place? Like, where is it?
Who knows?
Who cares?
It's hilarious.
But they never find him again.
Yeah,
then we get Nicholas with 2 A's, Ten Broek, one of those OEK words. Names sing fight fire with fire.
Oh my god, it's so good.
When it gets down to the wire. Yeah.
You gotta. Yeah.
It's the kind of shit. It's the kind of shit you just make up on the fly. It's wonderful.
It's the kind of shit I sing as the theme song for Force Fest 2.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's pretty much an 80s rock ballad. Most of that shit was just made up on the fly, I think. By the way,
gotta rhyme fire with something. Ooh,
fire!
Yeah. Gets down to the wire.
The American Ninja 4 poster. We talked about how it kind of has a little bit of Halloween 3. The problem is that American Ninja 4 has no city in it, and the poster does.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I think it's supposed to be New York too.
Yeah.
So maybe it's the specter of
the bomb, right?
What they're trying to, the rising sun, the nuclear holocaust of New York City.
Guys, I fucking love this movie.
It's good.
It's pretty fun.
Like like I said, it's bullshit, but it's fun.
It's totally bullshit.
You said before I started it something about it that was negative. I'm like, oh no.
I said it was brutal. I just said it was pretty brutal.
See, I read that as bad.
I know you did because I replied to my own thing, and I said by brutal, I don't mean
it's more
bad.
violent.
I mean, like it's violent. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that response.
Yeah, because I mean, like we mentioned the whole thing about like him smacking around Dr. Sarah. We didn't go into any more than we need to there, but
well, it's very bloody. I mean, people are burned alive in this movie.
Yeah. I mean, this is not the. Curtis Jackson isn't showing up and like macking on a chick and then smiling and thumbsing up and
I'm gonna say something controversial. I did not miss him.
I didn't either.
This movie.
I think he is the reason why
out of place in this movie.
Yeah, it's like that's why I think these movies are in weird
out of order.
Yeah, exactly. In terms of like their tones, right? Yeah. Like this is the tone of a first movie, and then you bring in, in Curtis, and he's now your buddy.
the later.
Exactly. You punch up the sequels to give it some sort of a different flavor.
Yeah, makes sense.
I really, really did quite enjoy this movie. And
how many ninja stars?
4. It's 4.
It's a 4 for me too,
It's a fucking
buddy.
4.
I'll give it a 4. I'll give it a 4.
Yes.
Yep, I think we have consensus.
Yes.
Let's throw a grenade on a ninja. Yes. This is A1 entertainment. We came in late with this one, guys. I wish we started the month with this.
I know. But this was like a very pleasant surprise, right? Because I thought we were doomed. I really did.
Apparently,
after
I
last
set
week,
a low bar with my brutal comment, so it was only going up from there.
Yeah, that helped because I missed the explanation. So
no, I was a little concerned after 3, but yet, you know what? Next week, for me, another wonderful surprise.
I had 4 pages of notes for American Ninja 4. I have almost 6 pages for American Ninja 5.
Ooh, tune in next week to find out what they are.
If we go by the how many notes did Jason take for the movie rule, I should like 5 the most.
I have a feeling he doesn't, though.
But I don't know.
Well, I mean, nothing is going to beat
but there
this
are elements of it that I do enjoy.
It's hard to get 4.
It's hard to beat a 4-star movie.
I know.
Like a 4 ninja point.
It's just a bit too kiddie.
We'll talk about it next week. How's that?
And I know. I'm just setting up next week.
Well, here it is. I was about to do the thing.
Next week, American Ninja 4. What else we got, Jeffrey?
5.
American Ninja 5. No, we're just going to talk about this movie again.
Yes,
I loved it so much.
Yes. Welcome to the American Ninja 4, the Annihilation podcast. I am Jeff Arbuckle. With me, as always, Chuck Moore. Chuck, how's it going?
Wouldn't that be
Shalom, y'all.
Let's just break down one little piece of American Ninja 4
forever
week and make a podcast
in perpetuity.
Oh man,
you guys have mangled some words today.
I know.
That's why.
I mean,
that's why because these movies mangled my brain.
Yeah, they do.
I mangle the English language. That is my job.
All right. So we move on from American Ninja 4. Next week we finish things up with American Ninja 5. We are. I do also want to say a deep, sincere farewell to the continuity, because this was technically the final true American Ninja movie.
Good finish.
Yeah, the perfect finish. He stuck that fucking landing. After a lot of stumbling around, they stuck the landing. Yeah. Next week is an in-name only sequel, which is fine. It's fine. We'll talk about that. And we're going to have lots of fun because Jason has 6 pages of notes. So that is next week, Wednesday, May 29th at filmseizure.com, where you can also find where we can be found on social media and where you can subscribe to us on various platforms and what have you. Also, on Monday, Memorial Day, I have a new episode of Monster Mondays, also on filmseizure.com. This week's a little bit different. It's The Man Who Laughs. So Conrad Veidt in a silent film.
Nice.
Very influential visage for a very popular character in today's pop culture world. So learn more about that on Monster Mondays on Monday afternoon, May 27th. This weekend, over at my website, bmovieenema.com, on Friday, I have a review that you can read for Rolling Vengeance. It's a movie that's, I thought was going to be a monster truck, guy driving around a monster truck getting revenge. He builds his own like little battle truck, and it's fucking great.
Nice.
It's kind of cool. And then on Saturday, new episode of B-Movie Enema, the series. Nurse Disembody and I watch an all-time classic B-movie, The Brain That Wouldn't Die.
That is classic.
I like that one.
Yes.
Very much a classic.
Yeah, very, very good. So, until then, I'm Scarf McGarf.
I'm Chuck Morglue.
And I'm Jason Oliver, and you've been listening to Film Seizure.